Hey everyone, and welcome back to Star Trek Online. This is going to be a bit of an intermission episode. Apologies there wasn't a video brought out yesterday. Why do Klingons have eye patches? They like their eye patches. I guess play around with blades a bit too much. I'm sorry there wasn't a video coming out yesterday. I was at a wake yesterday and really didn't particularly feel like it. Also, it's sort of a bank holiday in the UK, so I'm pretty much taking things easy at the moment. Also, one of the things is I've actually been playing STO pretty hard over the last few days or last few weeks, getting all the videos out, etc. And it is becoming a little bit of a grind to do things, but we've not got too far to go on a lot of the storyline stuff. What I might do is finish the exclusive stuff. I mean, I have to play the skirmish missions, which are the Davidian missions. I have to play those anyway to get to the Fekleri arc with the Klingon, but after that I think I might take a break from STO for a while. Reason for that basically being that there's very little new in game. I'll log in and do my duty officer assignments and all that, but it's pretty much the fact now that there's quite a lot broken with Star Trek Online at the moment. Especially the lag in game. There's a really good video that's been done by Ryan STO on this that I recommend you guys watch to see what I'm going on about. But basically, ISA is pretty much unplayable because of the amount of rubber band lag that goes on there. Now, this can vary at certain times of the day, but a lot of the time you're going to get a lot of rubber band lag and you're not going to be able to get the most out of whatever ship you've invested in. And to be honest, I feel I've had this downer sometimes. I've had a lot of downers in the past on MMOs, mainly because it just feels like it's new for a very long period, and to be honest, Star Trek Online stayed very new for a very long period of time because of how good its storyline is. But as with most MMOs, it turns into you just end up doing the same shit on a daily basis. And if I wanted a second job, I'd play EVE Online. So I might change tact a little bit, at least for a few weeks. The storyline kind of, once I'm through the storyline, I can kind of go through all of that. You guys know how I'm going to level up. I'm going to level up pretty much exactly the same way that I leveled up my Romulan science character, so you guys have seen that. The one thing I do have, I'm not using any personal traits. That's how much I've been caring about this. Now, you'll also notice that I've jumped about 12 levels since the last, and I've actually got a new ship. Have a look at the, this is a Katinga class ship, very well known from the movie period of Star Trek Online, and I think it appeared in the Next Generation a little bit. They basically just keep recycling the same model, and like we've upgraded it, honest, even though it looks exactly the same as it did 100 years ago. So I do have a new ship, etc. And the reason I've gone up all these levels is marauding. I have done pretty much nothing but maraud. So let's just have a look at what's good. These are the marauding missions that you're doing. Look at the amount of contraband I am getting here. Admittedly, I'm not getting much in the way of marauding experience, but that doesn't matter. We do have a dilithium weekend at the moment, but you literally, if you can have a look here, that's 76 contraband, and I think I have another 50 or 60 in the bank at the moment. So like, the Klingon is just pretty much printing money. That is all that you do as a Klingon, is you just print money using duty officer assignments. So what I'm going to do once I've got rid of some of this crap is I'll show you basically the route that I take to get a lot of this stuff. Yeah, got more stuff. I didn't get contraband on that, but I deported some colonists and got 750 dilithium from that because of the dilithium weekend. But and if you look at the other assets I've actually got here, you can see I've got a load of industrial energy cells which aren't worth much, but I have like 320 industrial replicators, 235 seismic stabilizers, plus all this. I've probably got about 6 million energy credits worth of stuff on this guy just from doing marauding, and I'm certainly not marauding at like max level that I could do. So what I'm going to do, first things first, I'll use transwarp for this because who the hell's got time to float around all over the place? This is... Oh yes, yeah, that's fine, whatever. What I'll also do is I will show you a... I don't know if I've toured the galaxy today, haven't I? That's annoying. Otherwise I'd show off the new Tour the Galaxy, but that's going to be a little bit irritating. So first thing I'm going to do is just beam down to First City so I can trade in some of the millions of contraband I got. You'll notice I haven't got an engineer on this ship yet. I got this ship like at the earliest possibility I have, and you can see I haven't done any missions with it yet. I don't know, for some reason it just ended up where I really was just not motivated to keep playing. It's like you can only do things a certain amount of time, and I might take some time out, and as I said, I will finish off the Klingon storyline, but after that I think I'm going to take a break from Star Trek Online. The Delta Recruit rewards are still there for ages, you know, they're there for as long as you have the character, so I think that I will do those after, you know, I will pick those up at some time in the future, so I can do those on any character, so I might use my Fed for that. So let's just turn over contraband. Oh, one thing I do have to look at. Where's the bank? Should be a bank somewhere here. Yeah, I can head to the exchange because that'll have the... that should have access to a bank. I'm still using my Batleth though, that will be something that I definitely want to do. Right, there should be some, right, that's mail. Is that bank? Yeah, bank. One thing I will show you, I doubt it, I think it only happens when you're in game, but yeah, you can see here I put a cannibal tribble into my account bank. And let's put another common tribble in there. So we will end up with some tribble corpses in there because this little dude will actually eat all of these other tribbles. And in doing so he will produce tribble corpses, which I can trade in for, I think, gold press latinum, if I'm not 100% mistaken. I think it's latinum you can trade them in for. I don't think it's dilithium anyway. But just to show you I'm not bluffing, there you go, 135 contraband that's just been made, and with contraband going for about 40,000 energy credits a pop, you're looking at about 500,000 energy, you know, you're looking at, what, 4.5, 5 million EC worth of, about 4.5 million EC there, something like that. And that's just from straight up marauding, and that's what you have to do as a Klingon pretty much. You just maraud like it's gone out of fashion, and then you just either sell stuff on the exchange or you exchange it all in for contraband. It's really up to you what you decide to do with it. Suppose I could find a trader just to dump some stuff off at, or dump some stuff off with, whichever way you want me to put that. Could be any way really. Yeah, this way. But yeah, there's definitely been some good and some bad with the latest sort of announcements that have been going on with Star Trek Online. One of the bad ones is that, well, I hate to say it's bad because it feels like it's kind of like it's fixing a flaw, but a lot of the duty officer missions are going to start getting nerfed in terms of the experience that they give and in terms of the rewards that they give, and I am just seriously not a fan of that, for the main reason that leveling up in this game is already like a really, once you get to 50, leveling up becomes an incredible grind, and the fact that they're making it even bigger of a grind by removing these high XP DOF missions, or at least changing them, uh, it's like, it really seems to me, I mean, I know it's not meant to be taken in this way, but it's kind of a thing, you've got a real job, you've got something else to do with your life, well, screw you, this game's not for you. And it's like, to me, and I've said this before in the past, that like, a game isn't a grind as long as you enjoy the process, but the plain and simple fact of the matter is that doing the same shit day in, day out is not fun. That's if I wanted to play something like that, I'd make a really cool spreadsheet, and just play with that every single day. I think that they've tried to introduce new stuff and everything like that, but the problem is it has to be as rewarding or more rewarding as the previous things that have been in the game. And the thing is, they've actually done the worst thing they possibly could, which is, because they introduced the bluegills as part of the Iconian storyline, they've had to add Iconian marks to Bug Hunt Elite, and in doing so they've made it completely pointless to play any of the new missions unless you're after Iconian data cores, which, now that they've introduced the exchange rate thing, you can literally just play Bug Hunt Elite once every 4 days, and that will get you enough Iconian marks to get up to rank 5, and then you just start turning in for... You can either turn in for Iconian data cores, or you can turn in just for dilithium. It's up to you if you don't want the Iconian kit. I don't really want to sound too negative, because I realise that these sort of things are meant to happen in an MMO for sure, and there's always going to be some level of grind, and especially in a free-to-play game. But I just feel like, while some of the things in the game I absolutely love, I think targeting systems is one that I definitely want. Some of the things in the game I absolutely love. I think the storyline's fantastic. I love that it's still going on. I think that that's great. Some of the battle zones are cool. There is a lot of stuff to do, but there's just other sides of the game that are incredibly frustrating. The main one, as I said, being the lag issues and things like that. I think that they really need to get on top of that. This has been a long-standing issue, and I think there have been some issues with their ISP or something along those lines, but whatever it is, it needs fixing, because you really don't want queues being in a non-playable state. The thing is, let's just have a look at some of the queues. I'll go onto my Fed and we'll have a look at some of the queues now. But I mean, look at that. It's like naught on everything there. So that's not a good sign. One thing I will do, I'll show off the Marauding stuff just so you guys can know what to look at. Basically, you want to go to your department heads and you want to select your first officer. This is where you'd normally get diplomacy missions if you're a Fed or a Fed Line Romy. This is where you get your Marauding missions as a Klingon. And basically, you want these 45-minute missions because they're the ones that that are going to give you contraband. The other thing you can do, you can sell prisoners to Orion slavers. I don't want that. I prefer dilithium over latinum. That's just what. It's a good one to level up though. Like 1,000 Marauding XP for leveling up that. Another one to look at when you're in this sector is to go into tactical, because when you're here you can get these forced labour requisition missions. They don't give you much experience, but they do give you 500 dilithium for completing them. And that's one thing Marauding missions also do give you quite a lot of, is prisoners. I could do a military offensive mission, but I want to find more Marauding missions first. And so the best thing to do is go from here and just go straight upwards. Yeah, this is kind of what people are saying in off chat. What they've done is the 12-hour missions that used to critically hit for like massive amounts of XP have been nerfed badly. They now give like a tenth of the XP they used to on critical hit, which is just making leveling through the doffing system an absolute nightmare. It's just like, I really don't know if that's possible now. And so what you're going to do, grind Crystalline Entity like 500 times, because they've already nerfed Dargala and everything like that. So it just seems like we do occasionally get good news about the game, but it seems like it's always supplemented by a load of bad news coming with it. And you can kind of see where they're coming from, but you also can see, like, throw us a bone sometimes, maybe. Anyway, these missions are also very good. The disable human freighters, these give you contraband, and they also give you prisoners as well, so that's the sort of thing that you want to have going on for you. The 8-hour ones aren't quite as good, but they do give you prisoners, etc., so I'm happy enough to do those. Raid 6 hours, probably not as good again, but whatever. How many prisoners do I actually have in the brig at the moment? I have 10 in the brig, and so I've only got this one left, so I'm actually okay to ransom this one, I think. Let's just get some experience. Right. So let's head on into the new Romulus system. And you can certainly, you can certainly see where people are coming from. It's one of those things where it might not be the worst. I mean, I've been someone who's stuck up for STO for a long period of time, but it's one of those things, and I've said this about a lot of the other games I play as well. I play one of the new games called, well, I don't know how new it is, it's 2 years old now, but it's still in beta. It's a kickstarted collectible card game called Hex. I've played that. You can see me play it on the Caravel Gaming channel. I don't think anyone's going to be interested in seeing me play it on this channel, but that's a game, again, I've defended that to the hilt, but for me, a lot of the stuff is about perception. I think there's a lot of problems with that game with perception due to the fact that it's Kickstarter funded, and like 2 years later they're still rewarding the Kickstarters and everyone else just doesn't get those sorts of rewards. So it might be, yes, it's probably perfectly fair the way they're doing it, but the perception that you're giving out is incredibly bad. So for a new player into Hex, for example, it's going to be, well, someone else's money's worth more than mine, so why should I play in this game? And yeah, STO, we're getting loads of new stuff, but it seems like everything that's coming out of the game is nerf bat, nerf bat, nerf bat. And the problem with that is that people become afraid to invest in the game because you can grind like hell to get something. My Federation character's got pretty much everything on it now. And you can invest in all this stuff, but you end up like, bang, nerf bat it, sorry, it doesn't work like it did anymore. You're like, well, dilithium is tradable for real, for essentially real money in the game, and I spent a load of dilithium on this and you've just nerfed the living hell out of it. Do I get any sort of refund out of it? No, I don't. So you end up getting people who are now afraid to commit any sort of resources to the game, and that's not what you want to have happening. And no, that's just the way that I currently feel about it, and I don't think I'm the only one who feels that way. And did I just... yeah, I just started a stupid assignment, didn't I? What's in progress? I don't want this. Yeah, I don't want that one aboard. So that's kind of the, that's the level that I'm feeling at. Oh, instigate defections up, cool. I'm trying to get my up because all I'm doing at the moment is taking security officers and lots of security. Once you get up to New Romulus, just head left, and you go into the next 2 Federation sectors, and usually that'll be enough to fill up your assignments. You'll kind of notice if I go into the overview, you'll notice that my marauding is like massively ahead of everything else. The only thing that's close is espionage. And the main reason for that is that the espionage and military missions I do produce a shed load of XP on crit because they're over the 16-hour threshold. So like the 20-hour espionage and military assignments produce an absolute bucket load of XP, whereas marauding assignments often don't give that much in terms of marauding XP, but that's pretty much all I've been doing, so that's why that's why they're pretty good. So, you know, same again. Appropriate artifacts is pretty much the same as the scientific one. Doesn't look like there's any good ones in this area, so well, yeah, why not? We'll do that one. Might get some decent stuff on crit, so let's head this way and try and get it all sorted. Out. This also has annoyed a few people with the bonus dilithium week. We actually have the bonus. We actually have a bonus dilithium weekend on at the moment, which I haven't taken too much of a part in, which is stupid really. So I'll log on to my Fed after I've done this and take a little bit of a part in it while I continue to right. You can see there, I mean, I'm getting this sort of rubber band lag even in sector space, and that's not because it's not because my internet connection sucks. It's not because of anything else. My internet connection used to suck, but I'm now on like a 40. I think I'm on like a 40-10 fiber connection or something like that. So it's not let's just say it's not incredibly slow. It's not something that should be getting this sort of lag, or should be experiencing rubber band lag. But it's just the way things are at the moment. Anything in these areas doesn't look like it. So, is there anything among the other department heads that I can have? Let's get some colonists, because I can always execute them. I suppose I could do that. Not got any decent stuff here. Don't think I even have the duty officers for these, because I've been, as I said, I've basically been taking security officers wherever I can, just because I want to be able to maraud like a madman. Wow, don't even have 2 medicals, that's really bad. Yep, that's a biological weapon one, let's do that. That's, oh, I can't do that one because I need another biologist or research lab scientist. That's awkward. What sort of, I have completed one of these assignment chains, I'm sure. Oh, you get repeatable assignments through biological weapons. Okay, cool. So antigens are one of the things that Klingons use a lot of because we're scumbags. Okay, let's just trade. It's a 40-hour mission, but can't be bothered trying to find anything else. And let's just change character just while I finish. While I finish chatting. So let's go back onto my Fed. Oh yeah, I've been crafting Omegas, haven't I? Still got these damn things in the bank and trying to work my way through them. So takes an awful lot of time. What I might end up doing. The thing is, I'm leveling up my other guys' R&D capabilities, so because of that, they don't really have time to grind Omega stuff. So I'm afraid I just have to like put up with it. What's completed? Okay, cool. Excuse me. Let's head back to DS9 and just do some kitty food quickly. Have I got my move quickly in sector space stuff on? Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, because I don't have the plasmonic leech on, and I've got that warp core on. Okay, cool. And what do I have in terms of... Yeah, you can see the Omega stuff's beginning to fall finally, but... There's a lot of stuff there, basically. I think that's about 500 mils worth. Oh, yeah. While I'm here... You know, this is... Unfortunately, you know, this is pretty much what Endgame turns into. You just, like, refill your reputation stuff and just do dilithium grinding for when they... and just use it for dilithium grinding for when they bring out a brand new ship. You know, run tour the galaxy occasionally. Go and kill some dinosaurs occasionally. That's one video I haven't yet done that I really do think I should do, is actually just go and relax and kill some dinosaurs. In fact, I might make that my next mission. I might make that video either... should I make it before I go back to the storyline? If you guys want to see me run through some ground battle zones or some battle zones, just post under the video before I go back to the Klingon missions, etc. Let's see here. Oh God, it's breeding. Right, I guess I have to stick that in the... Yeah, this is the one. I'm keeping this tribble, the Val tribble, because this one upgrades into the best attack tribble. But unfortunately, when I put a random food in there, it just spits out another tribble. But that's okay, because it can go into the account bank and then be eaten by the cannibal tribble. So all's fair, really, when it comes down to that. Let's approach DS9 after ramming off a planet. So yeah, I would say probably it might really have turned into a point where I've become... I'm not usually one who sticks with playing a game for like month after month after month after month after month after month. And it might just be a case where I've just burnt out a little bit on STO. It happens, I've done it before in the past, and you know, I've done it before in the past, and I probably will do it again, and I'll come back at some other point and I'll play it for a shed load of time. But I think it's just a case now where I don't... the only thing I come into the game for now is to just do economic stuff, and it's like, if I'm going to do that, then maybe I'm just better off taking a break for a little bit of a period in time. You know, not saying I'm quitting or doing anything like that. I just think that it's definitely an option for me at this point to maybe go on to another game or something like that for a while. Although then again, you know, things being what they are, you know, I can keep producing content for at least some period of time. Let's see here as well. Oh, running to the wall. And turn over some contraband again. And just find some random mission to do. That one will do. Okay, righty-ho. So, is that a pet spider? That is in fact a pet spider, isn't it? Yeah, don't like spiders. Kill it. Jump on its head. Oh, okay, fair enough. Right, what was I? Oh yes, of course. You know, for those of you who want to, you know, who want to see what the general, you know, what the general end game grind is, it's like this is pretty much it. You basically just go backwards and forwards on DS9, and I mean, I've shown you the Klingon endgame right there, and I'm at level 27. You know, that's pretty much the Klingon endgame. You basically grind energy credits and dilithium. No, I don't want to go to the fleet holdings. I want to go to the actual asteroid field and ram off another planet. People still doing Defera hards. I like Defera just to be honest. I like Defera just as a distraction because it's nice to just go in there and kill Borg a lot of the time. It's like I'm just gonna go into this mission and I'm just going to beat the living crap out of all these Borg, and you know I'm gonna just absolutely murder them with a Mark 14, with like my Mark 14 rifle and my like my Mark 14 Omega equipment, and just go in there and just absolutely blitzkrieg everything. And that definitely does have, that has some fun to it for sure. And to be honest, you could say the same for going on the Dyson Sphere. I mean, like Mark 14 Omega equipment is just really dumb. It's incredibly good. And but to be honest, upgrading your ground equipment to Mark 14 basically means anything short of elite just isn't a challenge anymore. And even, to be honest, with a decent group, even Bug Hunt Elite isn't. Bug Hunt Elite isn't really a challenge anymore. Because you end up getting the kit to do it, and then you're just doing the same thing over and over again. And that was one of the things. To be fair, I was never someone who was massively into World of Warcraft. For the main fact, it was basically like, why are you raiding? To get equipment. Why are you getting the equipment? To raid with. And it's like, and what's the end game? And to me, it's always like, show me the point of what the end of the game is. At least for STO, a lot of it, the end game has a lot of dilithium. The end game in someone actually said, I think it was on Reddit recently or something like that, someone said that the end game in STO is Space Barbie, and they're pretty much 100% right. The end game in STO is basically grinding up enough equipment or grinding enough material to get the next cool ship. Because once you've got all your Mark 14 Crit D stuff, you don't need to do any more grinding for that. So then it basically becomes of like, how decadent can I make my character? And so it's like, can I get the full, can I get the 100% full Galaxy set, or can I get a set of all the tier 6 ships? And to me, that gave the end game a little bit of flavour, because it wasn't just literally you could literally just buy it. It was like grinding yourself a new car. It kind of did make the grind a little bit worth it in that period of time. But the problem is, what seems to be coming out at the moment is that the game just seems to be making the grind harder and harder. I really hope they go back on that decision. I really do. But it just seems, and it's something that a lot of people, I mean, all you need to do is look at the chat that's been going on the left hand side of the screen, where somewhat the overwhelming thought of the people in the game is that they are literally just nerfing everything and making the game into a boring grind fest that they just wouldn't get away with, apart from the fact that this game is an STO license, and it's the only prime quote unquote prime universe sort of, hate to use the word hit, but it's the only prime universe bone that's been thrown to anyone. As far as computing goes, I mean, it's been a very long time. It's been an incredibly long time since an Armada game came out, and I think the last game that was set in the quote-unquote Prime universe that came out, wasn't that Legacy or something? If I'm thinking correctly, wasn't it Legacy? And that game was pretty much monumentally described as a trough of walnuts. Was pretty much described as a complete pile of execrable garbage. So, I mean, just on that front, so one of the comments in the last video did ask if I was going to do Star Trek Legacy. I do not own Star Trek Legacy, and nor do I want to pay how much it seems to. Nor do I want to pay how much it seems to cost to get hold of a copy of Star Trek Legacy, and nor do I want to download an ISO of it. So I think that we're pretty much stuck on that one. I do have a couple of other Trek games to go through. I have DS9 The Fallen, I have Dominion Wars, I have Elite Force 2, that's one that I've promised for a while. I will be honest, the reason that I've been holding back on Elite Force 2 is because at the moment I think I would be god awful at it, and I have actually never played through the game in its entirety. So I want to make it a good Let's Play when I do it. I don't want to I don't want to just like mess around, get killed a bunch of times, and just make it look really bad. So I really I'm hoping to I'm doing like my research on the game. I want to find some cool secrets, things like that. I might play through it a couple of times before I put it out. I honestly haven't decided. It's definitely one of the games that I will be doing very soon. I also want to do some, like, because one of the whole idea when I started up was that I wanted to do games that meant something to me when I was younger, and Trek games were an awfully big side of that. But the other part that was also a big side of it was the adventure game. I mean, my most popular LP by an absolute mile is a Final Unity for pretty decent reasons. But I just loved that sort of game. Simon the Sorcerer was the one that really appealed to me as when I was first getting into PC gaming. Broken Sword is another one. I absolutely love the Broken Sword games. I think that they're really well done. And Broken Sword introduced the Templars and everything before Assassin's Creed got anywhere near it. And I just think that overall I think that I'd like to do some of those games because, number one, they're at a slightly, they are at a slower pace. They're easy to record because, I've played them back to front by now. So it'd be nice, bit of a nice change of pace. And I think that might be something that I might concentrate on in the future. I will certainly intersperse it with like my Trek Wars, because there's only so many Trek games, and I'm not gonna go out of my way to I'm not really gonna go out of my way to like do 100% of every Trek games are out there, because I want to do the ones that I enjoyed, not just the ones that are quote unquote there. And I think that some Trek games certainly are simply just there, and certainly the new one comes to mind when talking about that. Although one I might try and get to work on a modern day system, which could be a bit tough, but I might try and do it, is Starfleet Academy. I remember that from when I was younger. I'm not sure how well it'll run on a modern day system, but I can certainly try it out. And I think I remember completing that in the day, but I do remember certain things being incredibly hard. But easy come, easy go, and it'd certainly be worth having a play around with. But yeah, just wanted to make this video just so I didn't skip a couple, just so I wasn't skipping like multiple days, and just to say, this run will continue, but once I've finished the Klingon storyline, that will probably be it for Star Trek Online for at least a little bit of time. I'll definitely want to change to something else for a little bit, because, as I said, it's I've basically been going full pelt on Star Trek Online now for like 2 months or something like that, So, admittedly, that may be what some of you are here for. I might do. I don't think there's a lot I can do with the Vesta. It might be a case where I release an STO video if I grab a new ship or something like that. I mean, between my characters, I probably have enough dilithium to get an Avenger or something like that. The fleet holdings, we do now have a tier 4 military shipyard, so I could get hold of a fleet Avenger or something like that. But again, that'd be a nice change of pace, I suppose. But the problem that I kind of have with my Fed is that the Vesta is the ship that I've always wanted for this, and as far as a science ship goes, there isn't really anything better in the game than a Vesta. And also it's one of those, if you're going to play Space Barbie or Space Can ships, aside from them releasing a T6 Sovereign, I think it's pretty much the one ship that I wanted in the game. So aside from getting a Scimitar as a Romulan, and basically because I wanted to do a shed load of min-maxing, I'm not sure that's really what I want to get up to at this point in time. But that enthusiasm can always return. I got a little bit. There were times in the past where I thought I probably wouldn't come too much back into Star Trek Online, but and I came back and did a load of stuff and ended up being very high on the ended up quite doing decently well in the DPS channels for a science guy. So things definitely keep changing, but I do want to keep doing content. But for me, especially with the YouTube channel, with 1500, and thank you to everyone who did subscribe, pushing the channel up to 1500 subscribers. But I am aware that 1500 subscribers on YouTube is pretty much small fry. This isn't what I do for a living. Good job, because the money wouldn't be going very far. So because it isn't that, I do want to keep up a regular schedule, because I feel like I owe it to the people who have subscribed, and I do enjoy it. But it's one of those things where I'm not going to do it if I don't enjoy it, and so therefore I will definitely be doing. If I feel like I'm getting burnt out on something, I will change things. Say one thing before I end up going today. I ended up having to do a load of shopping this weekend, because shock horror, losing 85 pounds in weight means nothing in your goddamn wardrobe fits you anymore. And aside from wanting to do the MC Hammer look, which I don't think is really, I don't think there really is a place for that in an accounts office in 2015. There's not really much other option I've got there. So there is a downside to losing a shed load of weight, definitely. But anyway, guys, on that note, I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will be back in the next episode with the continuation of the Klingon storyline. See you next time.